There we go. Larry the cat.
Harry Helms, reminding everyone about the seriousness of this COVID-19 in our region during these colder weather months. This virus is spreading rapidly and could put a strain on our hospitals and emergency services. I am asking everyone to please wear a mask. It's important to make sure your mask covers your nose and your mouth at all times. Wearing a mask is one of the only defensive tactics we have to slow this virus down. Remember, wear a mask, stay apart, and wash your hands.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast, start your work week. Look for some snow showers, heavy at times. Significant accumulation is expected as we go through the day on and off. Daytime high near 28 degrees. Your overnight low of 24 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Those snow showers continuing through the overnight and the earlier part of your Tuesday. Otherwise mostly cloudy with temperatures in the low 30s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
I'm not a Monday guy.
I'm not crazy about it either. I also don't like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays.
Are you ready to go?
I'm warning you, I'm seriously stressed out here.
You always drink like this so early in the morning?
Isn't it a bit early in the day for the bottle, even for you?
Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
Make the radio call.
It's time to get up.
It's time to hear that pop.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
We are go for live.
Conversations you care about with people you know. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
Welcome again to a Watchdog Morning Show. It's a Monday, and yet again, we put winter weather top of our hit parade. We'll keep you up on the roads and the schools and the forecast. As always, Zach Betty is in from the Big 7 and the TV7 Weather Center coming up in just a bit. Other than that, two big issues will dominate most of our conversation today. Donald Trump acquitted on his second impeachment trial. All of the ramifications of that. Former intelligence officer and our old buddy Jack Rice coming in to help me discuss the trial and its aftermath. A weekend session of the state legislature in West Virginia ran several big issues through committees as the As the aggressive fast-track session continues, Kelly Allen, executive director for the Western Center for Budget and Policy, will offer her thoughts on that and help me talk about a variety of topics that were moved through, from education to the governor's emergency powers and more. It is also the first week of Lent, Ash Wednesday coming up in just a couple of days. One local Methodist church is offering drive-through ashes, and we'll talk with its pastor, while the Diocese of Wheeling-Charleston will sprinkle ashes, sprinkle them on the head, not impose them. Other churches doing some other things. We'll take a look at that holiday, that celebratory day, that important day in the life of the Christian church, Ash Wednesday. Now it's being handled during the pandemic. All of this coming up this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Anywhere along the way you want to have your say, you know what to do. 304-214-1600. 304-214-1600. Watchdog Radio Network text line. It is open. It is available for you to use. And of course, as has been the case for the last couple of weeks, Biffy, I start off with a cough.
Yep.
I just cannot seem to start without doing that. Got the hot coffee here to try and cut the crud. I guess it's just that I don't talk to anybody until I talk to y'all. Sometimes I talk to Biff off the air. Didn't even do that today. And then it just, the nighttime, whatever, just rises to say hello. So, trying to clear, here we go again. And then it's like I've been auto-tuned. My voice kind of warbles there. Anyway. Jeez. It's hell getting old, Biffy. That's all I can say. It's hell getting old. Hey, tell me what's going on outside. Forecast says we should see some snow coming down now. I noticed that things that were not covered when I went to bed are covered this morning, so I guess we did have some snow coming down sometime during the night tonight. We're going to get some covering, I guess, today, even worse tonight and tomorrow. But Biffy, what's happening outside right now?
At least when I got over here this morning, there was a real light icy glaze on the windshield of the car. And I think it was just starting. There was some type of precipitation. I don't know if it was freezing rain or sleet or something, but something was falling because, like I said, the windshield had just a real thin layer of ice on it this morning. So other than that, not really any problems getting in this morning, although by now I think it has turned over to snow and we are starting to see the snow fall. So that's all I know.
According to Zach over at the Big 7, it's Winter Storm Uri. The only Uri I know is Uri Geller, the guy who bends spoons with his mind. Winter Storm Uri is what we're going to be hit with here. Two separate waves of precipitation. First round of winter weather is making its way here right now, 5, 6 o'clock this morning. We're now at that point. Snow will be coming down for much of the morning, or at least of the day. And then we'll have some slick spots and all that kind of good stuff. But then the second wave will come through. That's late afternoon, early evening, and that's going to be real freezing rain, wintry mix, and even more snow, and it's going to be a particular mess tonight and tomorrow. That is what seems to be the precipitation or the forecast in general right now. We'll talk to Zach in about half an hour and get more details about that. But basically, take it easy out there. Take it easy out there, whatever you're doing, because it is going to be a difficult couple of days. So I want you to be aware of that. And here we go again. I haven't even looked at the Biff. I'm going to need you to help me a good bit here this morning. There's something wrong with my internet browser. So it only shows me half a screen. So I'm looking at the text line. I see a text coming in. Howard, hold on here. Drink some water. Well, yes, okay, thank you guys. That's for my cough. I'd like y'all to use the text line 304-214-1600. Give me an assessment of what's going on in the Ohio Valley roadways right now, because I don't have any idea. And I haven't been able to check the traffic cams because my iPad, which is what I use during the show to get info, is kind of messed up. I think I did something wrong. I think I pushed the wrong button sometime over the weekend, and now it's all a mess. So, Biff, I'm going to ask you to try and keep an eye on, WTRF, on the weather and traffic cams and stuff, because I normally kind of keep one eye on that during the show, and I just can't. I have not checked the traffic cams yet this morning, for example, so I don't know what we're looking at out there. But it does look as if we are getting snow right now. I know when I opened the door, looked outside, as I said, things that were not covered when I went to sleep are covered now. So we definitely have had some snow coming down, and we're going to have more snow coming, and again, it's going to get worse for a couple of days. And I don't know what the school situation is. The last I saw when I went to bed, Biffy, was that most schools were on a 2-hour delay. That's the last I saw. I don't know if they have changed or not. So
yeah, it looks like
maybe you can take a quick check on that too.
It looks like some of the ones that were, I guess they started as 2-hour delays, and from what I could tell, that's going across. Actually, West Liberty's delayed 3 hours, so they're not going to start till 11. That just came across. But most of the ones that I'm seeing, like in the Northern Panhandle, with the exception of Tyler County, which is closed, most schools look like that they are going to remote learning is, well, actually, wait a minute, Brook is closed. Brook County Schools, they say closed, but most of the ones that at least I've seen scroll across are either remote learning or are just completely closing for today, so.
All right, so y'all will know your own school situation anyways, but I do like to call it to your attention the best I can. So schools are likely to be on remote learning for the day today. Pardon me. Which is what I expected yesterday and all weekend long, but I didn't know for sure. Let me see. I might be able to pull up a traffic cam or two. Let me see if I can do this. Again, I apologize because my... Yes, sirree, bub. Looking on 2 Mile Hill. Yeah, it's snow covered. Yipper. Oh, it is snow coming down pretty good. Okay, I'm just checking 2 Mile Hill just by itself. Yep, roads have got snow on them, and the snow's coming down pretty heavy, so... let me take another quick check of a different traffic cam here. Let's go to I-470. Yeah, snow coming down pretty good too. Roads are clear. I shouldn't say there's snow covered, but there's clear snow on the road, so watch out for it. You know, I saw someone from the Ohio Department of Transportation who posted something on, I think it was Ohio Valley Road Report last night. And he said, look, folks, we're already getting ready. We have our trucks ready. We got the salt ready. We're prepared to go. And as soon as we know when the weather's coming, we're going to go. And we're going to go out and we're going to clear the roads off. But then he said, we're expecting snow to come down at a rate of, I forgot what rate he said. He said, but basically it means, but when we get to the end of one of our paths, we're set out for X number of miles to clear. When we get to the end of it, everything behind us is already going to be covered up. Basically, the guy was saying, will you stop pitching at us? We're doing the best we can. And I think that's really true, too. There's such a tendency on all of our part to want to complain about road crews. Well, let me put a period before I get to about road crews. There is such a tendency on all of our parts anymore to complain, Biffy, period. And, it's so easy to pick on road crews, but Mother Nature is Mother Nature, right? I mean, snows come at strange times. Snows come down really heavy when they're not expected it, when you can only keep up so much. You can only keep up so much. I heard some people complaining again this weekend about some of the sides of roads in the city of Wheeling that weren't cleared off. Well, how am I supposed to park? There's snow. Where am I supposed to park? Where do you want to put the snow? They plow the street and it goes off to the sides. That's so you can drive. But anyway, I think we all should just be a little more understanding of the road crews and the work that they try to do. Do they mess up sometimes? Sure they do. I mean, absolutely they do. I'm not going to say that there's never a mistake made, but for heaven's sakes, we complain too much.
I know they do the best that they can with the way that the weather conditions are. I mean, we just can't control Mother Nature. It's that simple. So they may, like you said, they may get a stretch of road done and go to start whatever else they have, however they have the routes figured out. And by the time they get that done, that may be snow covered again.
Yep, the same one that just did.
The same one,
snow covered.
Right? Or they may be able to get that one done, move on to the next one, and keep going in the order that they're given the roads to do in. But I mean, they can't control when they get a road done, and all of a sudden, Mother Nature just decides, okay, well, I'm going to cover it up again. I mean, they can't control that. I mean, that's just it happens.
And like I said, all you can do is plow the roads. I mean, in certain areas of the country where you have huge amounts of snow all the time, they actually take dump trucks of snow and dump them in Lake Michigan or something like that. But around here, you plow the road. I mean, the snow doesn't vanish, right? When you have the kind of snow we had last week, and we may have again, well, we're talking about, I haven't seen what the current forecast is. They were talking anywhere from 4 to 7 to 6 to 9 up to 12 around here over the next couple of days. I don't know what the current prediction is. We'll check with Zach in a bit. But snow, it doesn't go away. It's not magic. Poof, up, it's gone.
Well, the big thing now, and according to what Zach has on the Big 7, it'll be in the 3 to 6 range for snow. But Zach also has,
Nice.
yeah, he's got the ice accumulations ranging from a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice, and that's just for today and into tonight. And then Tuesday, in the early morning of Tuesday, we could see a wintry mix.
Yeah, boy.
So it looks.
I think tomorrow morning is actually going to be the worst of. Again, we'll talk to Zach about it, but I think tomorrow it's going to be a rough day today, perhaps, but tomorrow morning is going to be the worst.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then looks like after that we get a break on Wednesday, and then that's it. And then Thursday, there's another one coming through on Thursday. Again. Yep.
You know, it reminds me to never say things like I did a month or so ago. Boy, I hope we get some snow. Just don't say those things, you know? Because the next thing you know, you get them and you're going, yeah, I think I'd rather not have it. I said back at Christmas time, Thanksgiving time maybe, I said, you know what I want? I want a little bit of snow on Christmas Eve, right? Didn't I say that? A little bit of snow on Christmas Eve. And then maybe one good, hard, blizzardy type snow. One for one day in January. That's always kind of fun. And then forget it. Well,
yeah,
I got it, but they did. Mother Nature didn't hear the "then forget it" part.
I mean, after Christmas, okay, if we didn't get anything else after that, I would have been fine with it. I mean, that would have been good if we got what we did Christmas, and then if we didn't get anything again until next winter season, I would have been fine with it. But it's just here we go, one after another. We're getting hit, but it could be worse. We could be over in the parts of North Dakota and wherever where they're getting just their actual temperature below zero, and the wind chills are just so brutal for those people there. And even down in southern West Virginia, there are people down there because the ice storm that they got, you got people down there without power. Right. So, I mean, we could be worse. So I think throw all that in, and I think we can deal with this.
You mentioned temperature, which I have not mentioned yet. 21 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 21 at the airport, but there is some wind blowing around, and it makes it feel like 13. So 13 degrees is the feel-like temperature. 21 at the airport, 21 at my home studios, 21 here at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. A couple of weather-related stories I think I want to bring to your attention right now at 7:25 in the morning on a Monday. DK, our old friend DK Wright, did a really good story. She always does good stories, though. DK, you don't get any better than DK's doing her work. You know what I'm saying, Biffy?
I tell you what, they send her out. She does a lot, and yeah, like you said, they're usually good.
She did a story on, I think it was on Friday, about the winter weather and its effect on the homeless. And we talk about this, you and I do often, Biff, about, I don't say we quite joke, but, the day that I had no heat in the house, furnace was down. And I said, oh my God, I hope I don't freeze, and it's so cold. But it really wasn't that bad. We had a space heater, we had blankets, and everything was fine. Yesterday, I did actually get my wife something for Valentine's Day, and it was ordered by Amazon. And believe it or not, actually, it was delivered in one day. It came yesterday, which was amazing to me. I thought, this is never going to show up on time. And they left it on the front porch, and I had to just literally step out the door and down the step, out the door and down the step. That was all. Teddy was with me. I said, Teddy, I think Grandma's gift is here. Okay, let's go get it, Granddad. He stood inside the door. I opened the door, stepped outside. I thought I was going to turn into an icicle. It was so darn cold. And all I did was literally take one step down from my porch, pick these items up and bring them back inside. And I was frozen.
Oh, it hit you as soon as you stepped outside. And this morning was the same way. When you go out, it's going to hit you.
But it's always a reminder to me that for all of the joking that we do, or all of the sort of minor mumbling that we do, and by we I mean you and I and other folks, there are people living in this weather, living in that cold, living with 6 to 9 inches of snow. And it's right, it becomes their home. It's amazing. So as DK did a story about it, which was kind of interesting. She takes note that the winter, in Wheeling, for example, the winter freeze shelter, now in the old OVMC building, the winter freeze shelter is open all night, but it's closed now. It closes at 7 a.m. So there were folks who went in and were able to get a good warm night's sleep, and that's great. And I'm not complaining about the winter freeze shelter. That's what they're there for. But they're already out on the street at 7 o'clock. Catholic Charities has a warming center that they have open during the day, but it closes at 3 p.m. So even with all of the help that we provide through these agencies, you still have folks who are literally out in the cold for multiple hours all day long without anywhere to go. And DK did I say, a good story. It's a sad and depressing story. As she talked to some folks who have been homeless, one woman says that a friend of hers lost a toe because of the cold. His toe got so frozen he only had one pair of socks and not the best shoes. Was left out in the cold and had to go to the hospital. And then when ice gets involved, DK's story points out, you step the wrong way, you can seriously hurt yourself. People fall, get bruised, break their arms, and so on. They tend to be folks that don't have a lot of strength in there anyways. I mean, it may only be for 5 hours, 3 to 8. And again, this is just in Wheeling. There are other places where they don't have the kind of amenities that we have here, which is the freeze shelter and the Catholic Charities and so on. But even just here in Wheeling, you get 5 hours where they have to be out in the cold. And this one woman, formerly homeless, told DK they're embarrassed that they're homeless and about the situation they're in. And a lot of them have pets. Think about that. They've got pets with them. We often say, don't forget to bring your pets inside. What if you're not inside and you've got pets? And some of the shelters don't allow pets. Anyway, I think we will talk this morning about schools being on remote, and we will talk this morning about roads being difficult to drive, and we will talk this morning about bundle up, you want to be warm, and we'll talk about all of this stuff. But as we do, stop and think about people who have no choice. I mean, open your door and go outside for 5 minutes. Open your door and go outside for 5 minutes this morning. And ask yourself how you feel. And then ask yourself, how would you feel if it wasn't 5 minutes, but 5 hours? Or worse, ask yourself if it wasn't 5 hours, but if you didn't have the kinds of facilities we have, like the freeze shelter and so on, to go to at some point. Yes, I know, it's my bleeding heart liberal mentality showing through. I understand that. But I think it's something that we need to all keep in mind. And again, it really hit me yesterday when I literally stepped on my porch and went down one step to pick up an item that was on the step delivered by Amazon. And it was so cold and I was so frigid for that 8 seconds of time. Picture being out there for 8 hours. 7:30 in the morning on the Watchdog Morning Show. Also, I spend a lot of time on the weather whenever we have weather stories, right? I mean, we spend a lot of time on this show with it. Of course, weather forecasts about every 10 minutes during the morning show from Zach and from Darnell. And intense conversation with Zach about it, and you and I talk about it. And invariably, I get people who say things, Biff, or will text or will something, will say, hey, it's winter, it's cold, there's snow, just stop it. It's just what happens in the winter time. Why do you spend so much time with it? Well, because it is something that affects us all, and we all should be more careful. I couldn't help but think about all those people who complain about me talking about the winter weather. Fearmonger Monroe again, I guess. When I saw a story across the news wires yesterday, a recent insurance study says that West Virginia is the worst state in the country for weather-related deaths. So why do I tell you about the roads? Why do I tell you about the snow? Why do I tell you about the ice? Why do I tell you to bundle up? It's not just because I want to fill up time on the radio. I got a lot of other stuff to get to today. We do it because I want you to be safe. And because we're not safe. Because according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and their analysis of data, West Virginia has the number one deadliest weather-related crashes of all states. Of all states. Rain, snow, ice, all of these things are weather-related, and they all lead to crashes. More than 45 fatal accidents per 1 million drivers in West Virginia caused by the weather. So if I share this, and then, by the way, in case you're curious, Kentucky is number 2, and our old friend Mississippi comes in at number 3. Then we have to go all the way out to Wyoming to get number 4, and Oregon is number 5, in case you're curious who the other top 5 states are. But West Virginia, the worst state for fatal weather-related crashes, which is part of the reason why I make a point of spending time on the weather and reminding you about it and alerting you to it and telling you to be careful on the roads and take it slow and leave early and bundle up and all of those things, because we need all the audience we can get. Let's be honest about it. So I want you here tomorrow as well. So there you go. And snow's already coming down. What do we look forward to? What's the timing of all of this stuff today? We have some snow coming down right now. We've had some coming down for a while. How much longer are we going to deal with it? We'll talk about that. And when is round 2 coming? That's later tonight into tomorrow morning. And then when's round 3 coming? We're getting it a bit later this week. We'll try and get all of that information from Zach Petty at the Big 7 coming up in just a couple of minutes. And then there are 2 big stories that we're following this morning. One is the Trump acquittal. The impeachment trial came to an end over the weekend, and although there were a number of Republicans who did side with the Democrats who brought the impeachment charges, not enough did to convict Donald Trump, so he was acquitted. And what is that going to mean to Donald Trump? What's it going to mean to the Republican Party? We're going to kick the trial itself around, the aftermath of the trial, with our old friend Jack Rice. Jack, a former CIA officer, defense attorney, prosecutor, and just all around pretty smart guy. So Jack Rice is coming in with us this morning just to talk about that. And then, boy, oh boy, are they, it's like they put on their flash suit in the legislature. They are moving this stuff through as quickly as they possibly can in West Virginia. Education bills in particular got boom, 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 moved through. Charter schools, vouchers, other things, removing the power of the governor. I'm kind of with them on that. Limiting the power of the governor a bit. Just a lot of pieces of legislation moving through super quick down in Charleston, even a Saturday session. They're trying to move this fast. We'll talk to Kelly Allen from the West Virginia Center for Budget and Policy about all of this stuff coming up this morning as well. So that's what we've got to look forward to. But straight ahead, we'll check news from the Big 7. And then Zach is in with Ohio Valley weather for us. And we need to spend some time with Zach on that. Glad you are here. If there's something on your mind you want to share, in particular, if you want to share weather situations or road situations, please use the text line 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600, the Watchdog Radio Network text line. We are the Watchdog Morning Show. It is 7:35, and we check some headlines.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now...
If I can take another break after Zach, if you want me to do that. You sure? Okay.
I'm Bill DeFabio on sports. We are the Watchdog.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
You can now watch the Legislative Watchdogs every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. Talk radio taken to the next level. Only on the Watchdog. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
From the West Virginia Broadcasting Hall of Fame, directly to you. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
Well, a snowy morning this morning and going to get worse as the day goes by and tomorrow comes in and later in the week comes in. And yeah, we'll get all the details from Zach coming up in a minute. I do want to alert you, if you have a COVID vaccination appointment for today, and the Wheeling, Ohio County Health Department, I don't have Marshall counties in front of me, and I wish I did, but I have the Ohio County in front of me. Ohio County Health Department today is doing vaccination clinics at the Highlands, at the old Michaels building, for higher education workers getting their second doses, okay? This is all by appointment. This is a Moderna vaccine. Higher education, second dose today at the Highlands by appointment. If you have an appointment, at the moment, the Ohio County Health Department says they anticipate today's vaccination clinic staying. Now, they're going to watch the weather. Tomorrow, it is, the vaccination clinic is for those 80 years and older getting their second dose of the Moderna vaccine. Those who got the first dose back in January 15th and 16th, tomorrow's their second dose. That could be changed. Health Department says they're watching the weather very closely, and at this time, the Monday clinic is continued as scheduled, but if road and weather conditions get worse, they'll move Tuesday's clinic to some other day. You will be notified. So, at the moment, today's clinic, vaccination clinic, is on schedule at the Highlands, but tomorrow's kind of iffy. And if you are rescheduled either day, you will get a call or an alert telling you that you're rescheduled. But I just thought I would make you aware of that. Well, let's see what we're going to expect weather-wise. Zach Petty is here from the Big 7, WTRF TV. Zach, I know I've said this quite a few times, but you know, back in November and December when I said I'd like a little bit of snow, I really just meant I'd like one good snow day and have it over and done with. It just seems like it's coming and coming and coming.
Yeah, the winter weather invasion continues to trek along. I don't know if you were able to catch anything from this morning, but there's a wind chill warning spanning from North Dakota down into southwestern Texas, a 1,400 mile span. And if that's not impressive enough for you, I bet you this one will. Nearly 2,200 miles of winter storm warnings in effect from the southern tip of Texas all the way up into Maine.
Oh, wow. So
2,200 miles.
The point of that should be that we're not alone, I guess, right?
Right. Literally, there was a point last night where the entire state of Texas was covered in a winter weather headline, whether it be an ice storm warning, a winter storm warning, or a wind chill warning.
You don't think of Texas as being winter weathery, you know?
Nope, not at all. They got blasted with that cold Arctic air that North Dakota and the Dakotas and Minnesota's been seeing. Well, it sank all the way down into Texas, into the Lone Star State, and they woke up with some frigid temperatures, I tell you that, from yesterday morning.
Now, what do we have as far as warnings, watches, et cetera? What's in effect for our area? Anything still?
Right. So as of now, Wetzel County up the northern panhandle, Monroe up into almost the entirety of Ohio is in a winter storm warning. Now, this is in effect until 1 p.m. tomorrow, and it started at 1 a.m. today. Now, we're seeing right now on Storm Tracker 7 Dual HG Doppler radar, we're seeing mostly snowflake activity. But I've been monitoring some returns on the reflectivity, which is looking at cloud height, as well as trying to figure out what the precip is in terms of falling precip. It looks like there could be some returns of some freezing rain, if not some very heavy snow, impacting portions of Belmont County, northern Monroe, as well as extending over into central Marshall County right now. So looking at our cameras across Ohio County, we actually are seeing roadways are wet, but whenever I peeked across over into Ohio, roadways are covered. They're starting to get slick because there was, Biff and I were talking early on this morning, that there was a very brief period of freezing rain throughout the northern panhandle and southeastern Ohio, as there was just a very brief column of warm air aloft, allowing the snowflake to melt, and then just enough cold air trapped at the surface for that to flash freeze on contact on the roadways and unfortunately on Biff's windshield, but looks like it was easy enough to clear off rather quickly. And it looks like we're just going to stay in wave 1, because there's 2 waves to this system, Howard. Wave 1, as of now, is looking to be predominantly snow with some patchy freezing rain right now. Accumulations from wave 1 are going to be anywhere from, let's say, a coating to maybe upwards of 2-3 inches up on the hilltops.
And that will continue for the day?
So it looks like we have 2 waves coming in. Wave 1 is going to be from this morning when we're talking right now. Well, it actually started at right around 5:30. And then it looks like that's going to continue on until, let's say, lunchtime. And then we're going to have a brief period of no precipitation. But this is one thing that the National Weather Service has wanted us to stress. This is not over. Round 2, which is going to be starting right around dinner time, between 4 or 5 o'clock. This second wave is going to pack more of a punch. And the reason that is, all of the snow that we were expected to get, well, you can wipe those totals and push them out the door, because we're expected to have warmer air aloft starting to filter in. We're expected to see upwards of 1/4 to even 1/2 of an inch of freezing rain.
So for those who are looking at snow accumulations, and we'd seen all kinds of things, 6 to 9, 8 to 12. I mean, you'd seen all sorts of things over the weekend. Not from you guys, but, all over the place. Folks who are worried about snow accumulations, we will see accumulation, but not as bad as been predicted. Unfortunately, that's because we'll have much more ice, and that's not good. Ice is not good.
That 100% correct. Yeah. If we were in a cold column of air like let's say Youngstown, they're expected to stay as mostly snow. They're expected to see upwards of 6 to 10 inches, where this warm air keeps funneling in from the southern portions of the mountain state and from the southeast, and it's expected to swing its way as far north as the Pittsburgh up into Beaver County and southern Butler County, where, again, this is just the stubborn warm air aloft that's really going to make the evening commute treacherous. If not, there's going to be some heavy traffic hazards just because half of an inch of ice, I mean, even just the glaze on the roadways is very treacherous. Now we're continuing to add added ice on top of it, and I mean, it's just not looking good. I wish we were all snow. And that way it would be, it's just going to be an all-snow event. And yes, driving's going to be bad, but ice is almost 3 times as bad in my opinion, because not only are you thinking about slick conditions on the roadways, you're thinking of accumulating ice on power lines, buildings, rooftops. Yes. And one thing that I looked up real quick is a tenth. Now, we're expected to see a quarter to upwards of a half of an inch, but for perspective, a tenth of an inch of ice on a power line, on the entire span from pole to pole on a power line, is like adding 500 pounds of stress on that wire. Wow. And that's just a tenth of an inch of ice.
Which means the potential for power outages gets pretty significant too.
Power outages.
Let's talk about this in terms of how it affects people. This morning it is snowing, so you want to be aware of that. I noticed, as I've said several times to my audience, when I went to bed things are covered this morning that weren't covered when I went to bed last night. So we did get some snow sometime during the overnight or early morning hours, and my car's got a layer of snow on it and so on. And we'll get some more snow this morning. Drive carefully, maybe up to 3 inches higher elevations and so on during the morning hours today. But that's not a real problem. That's out there. Got to be aware of that. It's really an icy evening this evening that's got to be the real serious problem. Watch out for your drive home. And then, Zach, does that continue into tomorrow morning? Do we worry about tomorrow morning's commute as well?
It looks like just the morning commute. I expect most of the system to be wrapping up in the early morning hours, but I mean, I'm not in charge of the trucks or whatever. If there's enough ice, I don't even know if the trucks are going to be out to salt, plow, or treat the roads. So there could be slick spots continuing on into the early morning commute hours tomorrow. Now, again, this is all going to depend on how much freezing rain really falls in through the overnight hours. I mean, weather models have been pretty locked on in terms of how much that this warm air is continuing on. It's just all going to depend on how much freezing rain falls through the overnight hours in terms of how bad this is going to be for tomorrow's morning commutes.
All right, we get past tomorrow. Don't we have yet another potential storm or front or something coming in later in the week too?
Oh yeah, we have at least we have a positive note. I do have Wednesday being dry and quiet. It's just going to be colder, so we have a nice little catch-up day. So Wednesday will be my most relaxed day. You and I let's talk food on Wednesday, just so that way we have something positive to talk about. and then Thursday, yes, we do have another system that's being seen up into the Pacific Northwest right now, and we're expected to see again snow, possibly changing to freezing rain, but we should warm as we head into the afternoon, and it should transition over to rain. But again, developing situation, snow total maps do not mean anything this far out in advance, and we'll continue to monitor this for you. But again, we could be running this all back on Thursday into Friday morning.
Well, the best thing for people to do is they can keep an ear here, they can keep an eye to Channel 7, download the Storm Tracker 7 app, follow your tweets and Dr. Dave's tweets, and Aaron, if he's working, I'm not sure. Everybody will be keeping me up to speed on tweets and on Facebook, and just keep an eye to all the information sources, because next 24 hours or so, we're going to go through a couple of different periods a couple waves of weather. We want to make sure we know what's going on. So we'll let people know, you'll let people know, and hopefully folks will stay safe.
Yes, that is the goal. Ultimately, we want to give everyone as big of a heads up as possible and try to give you the most accurate information, even though sometimes we're still trying to understand what's actually happening, because Mother Nature, she can change in the blink of an eye. So it's always a fluid situation, that's for sure.
Zach, people are always complaining to me that I'm a fear monger, whether it's talking about the pandemic or talking about the weather. Why do you have to, it's winter, why there's going to be snow and there's going to be ice, there's going to be cold. Why do you have to make such a big deal about the weather? Story crossed my desk, and probably yours too, over the weekend. West Virginia is the worst state for fatal weather-related crashes. We are the number one state in the country for weather-related crashes that kill people. So that's one of the reasons why I spend an awful lot of time fear-mongering, if that's what people want to call it. You got to be alert. You got to be aware. You can't deal with it if you don't know about it. So we try our best to let you know about it.
Of course, I appreciate that you guys are here to help us out and give us another platform to give people a heads up on what's happening.
And the simplest thing for people to do is keep that Storm Tracker 7 app on their phone. That gives them a really quick way to take a look at what's happening sort of in real time, or you can track a lot easier what the time frame of some of this stuff is going to be. Hey, Zach, I appreciate it as always, my friend. I'd like to have springtime come in sometime soon, if you could work on that. But
I'll get right on it. I'd like it too now.
All right. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. We'll see you.
All right. Zach Petty from the Big 7. So, Biffy, snow this morning anywhere from a little bit to 3 inches, higher elevations in particular, twixt now and around noon. Then the second wave, then we'll have some okay midday, and then around noontime, around dinner time, 4 or 5 o'clock, it'll be another wave coming in, and it will be snow and a lot of ice. And that ice scares me. My Subaru goes nicely in the snow. I feel pretty comfortable. I don't ever feel comfortable on ice, Biffy. When you can have significant ice out there. Little layering of black ice is bad enough, but when you get, what do you say, up to a quarter of an inch of ice, yuck.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, my nephew, we've got him watching hockey now, so he can't say ice skates, so he calls them ice shoes. So we're definitely gonna need the ice shoes possibly for Tuesday morning.
Yep. And then more coming on Thursday. So, oh boy. I'm ready for springtime. Whenever spring would like to arrive, I'd be okay with it.
Well, we'll be 5 weeks from golf season starting on Thursday, but man, with the way it's looking right now, not kind of hard to think about golf.
Well, you can always think about it, but I'm not sure it's ready.
Yeah.
I don't know that I make my reservations just yet.
No, wait a little bit on that. We'll wait.
How was your weekend, by the way? I forgot to ask you earlier. Did you have anything exciting, fun? What'd you do?
I pretty much lived at the WesBanco Arena all weekend. The Nailers were in town and played 2 exciting games on Friday night and Saturday night. One in a shootout on Friday night, one in overtime on Saturday night, and then yesterday afternoon, Indy came to town, who, oh, by the way, hadn't played since Wednesday when the Nailers went there and played them, so they hadn't played in 3 days, and the Nailers just simply put ran out of gas yesterday. I mean, they hung with Indy for as long as they could. It was 1-1 into the third period, and Indy scored 5 in the third period and ended up beating them 6-1. But you count the game Wednesday that the Nailers had in Indy, and over the weekend they got 5 out of 8 points, which is pretty darn good considering you had 2 good teams coming into town. So a little bit of hopefully momentum for the Nailers, and they'll get going again. So that was pretty much it all weekend.
That was
it. I'm sure the folks at the WesBanco Arena were happy that we left, because man, if we'd have been there anymore, we might as well just moved in down there. So no, other than yesterday, it was a pretty good weekend.
So you were you were watching the ice on the weekend, and now the ice will be coming out of the sky during Monday and Tuesday. So
yeah, just can't get away from it.
You're going to keep on icing it up. We had a really nice weekend. My wife and I went out on Friday to pick up something. I can't remember what it was, and at some point I made a comment because we want to get stuff, we're going to, kind of food to make for the snow kind of stuff, And I said, what would be good is, my wife makes a killer seafood stew. We get, shrimp and langostinos and scallops and, it's a great seafood stew. I said, that might be kind of good. And, I was texting with my kids and I said, we're going to go to Kroger, or Respecs actually. Do you need anything? We're thinking about seafood stew. No, don't need anything. But then, as soon as we got home, my oldest son shows up on the front steps. Is it ready yet? No! No! He just got home. But she made this huge pot of seafood stew yesterday. It was great. But I kept watching it walk out the door. Jason comes and takes this giant pot full of stew, and out the door he goes. Jonathan's there. He's got this giant pot of stew. Hey, excuse me. What about... Anyway. It was good what I had, but it was much as I wanted to. Hey, it's 8 o'clock on the Watchdog Morning Show. Jack Rice joins us next hour. We're going to talk about the Trump trial.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
That feel like anywhere from...
Okay, Jack should be 8:10. And Kelly Allen from Center on Budget and Policy at 9:10. Oh, and Pastor Tom Jones from Thoburn Church at 8:40. They're all calling in, I hope. If we don't hear from them, I do have Kelly's backup number, but I don't think I sent it to you because hopefully we won't need it. Okay, thank you. I'm going to get some more coffee here and see what happens. Okay. Yeah. There it is. Yep. Oh, we were going to do the Trump trial, but their watchdog is doing weather. Let's get the weather in there.